Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. The Vatican has announced Blessed John Paul II and Blessed John XXIII will be canonized on April 27, 2014, Divine Mercy Sunday. The feast day was actually established by Pope John Paul II. Catholic News Service's Carol Glatz has more.
Pope Francis announced he would declare Blessed John Paul II and Blessed John XXIII saints during a single ceremony at the Vatican, April 27th. The canonization Mass on the Sunday after Easter is expected to draw enormous crowds, like the 1 million strong present in 2011, when Pope Benedict beatified Pope John Paul II. The date of the ceremony was announced September 30th, at the end of an ordinary public consistory, which is a gathering of cardinals and promoters of the sainthood causes of the two late popes. The consistory took place in the context of a prayer service in Latin and included the reading of brief biographies of the two sainthood candidates. Cardinal Angelo Amato, prefect of the Congregation for Saints' Causes, highlighted their service to peace and the impact both popes had inside and outside the Christian community at times of great cultural, political, and religious transformation. The cardinal said the testimonies of their lives, completely dedicated to proclaiming the gospel, shine in the Church and reverberate in the history of the world as examples of hope and light. Blessed John Paul, known as a globetrotter who made more than 100 trips outside Italy, died in 2005 and was beatified by Pope Benedict XVI 2 years ago. Blessed John XXIII was known especially for convoking the Second Vatican Council, and Blessed John Paul beatified him in 2000. Pope Francis has said he thinks of Blessed John as a priest who loved the faithful and knew how to care for them. He also was a man of courage, he said, by calling the Second Vatican Council. Pope Francis has said he thinks of Blessed John Paul as the great missionary of the Church who proclaimed the gospel everywhere.
Now from Rome, just 4 days before he was scheduled to travel to the birthplace of St. Francis of Assisi, Pope Francis met with religious, political, and cultural leaders who were attending the annual Interreligious Peace meeting sponsored by the Rome-based Sant'Egidio community. The leaders from around the world were continuing the dialogue. Blessed John Paul II began with his Interreligious Peace gathering in Assisi in 1986. Pope Francis told the leaders gathered September 29 through October 1st that the Assisi gathering 27 years ago should not and could not be an isolated event. He said, "We cannot stand by indifferent while people are suffering from poverty, terrorism, and exploitation." He ended his remarks with a prayer that God would sustain all peacemakers and also for peace in the world, in Syria, the Middle East, and for renewed hope among those suffering from the effects of war and among young people who are worried about their futures. More news now from the Vatican. Though he was not scheduled to meet with them until today, Tuesday. On Monday, Pope Francis made his International Advisory Panel on Church Governance a permanent council of cardinals. This move emphasizes the importance of its work among his pontificate's various efforts at Rome, at reform, that is. Rome Reports spoke with Cardinal Oswald Gracias of Bombay, a member of the council, about what he expects to discuss during the council's meeting with Pope Francis.
One of the 8 cardinals the Pope chose to advise him on reforming the Curia and the Church's governance is the Archbishop of Bombay, Cardinal Oswald Gracias. He describes the commission as a new approach for the Church.
Changes in the sense that of direction, but I don't think we could, say, immediately after this meeting there will be a dramatic change. No, I don't expect that.
The 8 cardinals have thought long and hard about the list of topics they will bring up with the Pope. Among them is the role of women in the Church and also the issue of marriage annulments. The Commission's first meeting will be October 1st.
But it's good we meet in this context, and then after when we meet the Holy Father, we'll know exactly what he wants. And I hope that we can bring also the perspective of the local churches to the Holy Father, from the grassroots. That's so important for the Holy Father.
Cardinal Gracias says any reform must first meet the current needs of the entire Church, and not just the Church in Europe.
And that, I think, is really what the Holy Father is trying to tell us, back to the basics, back to essentials. Jesus came to serve those who were poor, underprivileged, to liberate them. That's what the church should do, and I think that's what the church gradually will be. That's what our calling is today.
The Bombay Cardinal is the only Asian representative in the commission, which has been nicknamed the G8. The other 7 cardinals come from different parts of the world.
Looking now at news from around the country, in his message for Respect Life Month, Cardinal Sean O'Malley of Boston urged Catholics to share the truth about human life. The Cardinal said that by opening hearts to the love and mercy of Jesus allows people to see more deeply the intricate and unique beauty of each person. October is annually designated as Respect Life Month by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, with Respect Life Sunday to be observed in parishes October 6th. Cardinal O'Malley is chairman of the U.S. Bishops' Committee on Pro-Life Activities. And finally in the news, the Pontifical Council for Social Communications has announced that the theme for the celebration of World Communications Day will be communication at the service of an authentic culture of encounter. The topic was chosen by Pope Francis, and his message for the day is expected to be released January 24th, the feast of St. Francis de Sales, the patron saint of journalists. In the announcement of the theme, the Council said that it is through communication that people are able to meet and encounter others on a meaningful level. Most dioceses will celebrate World Communications Day on June 1st, the Sunday before Pentecost. The Council said that World Communication Day 2014 will explore the potential of communication to bring people closer to each other and to cooperate in the task of building a more just world. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.